Yeah, I think I'll just do that. It doesn't really matter. That way, our opponent doesn't really have um, an attack open, and I can just -11 that Ugin and go get some cool stuff, like the Planetarium and our core Firdoch, which I can play for 0, but I will play Ugin first, take out the other ley line, and we got the win. Who knew a mono black control deck could ultimate an Ugin? How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another video on the channel. Today's video is gonna be a standard deck tech, and we have a fantastic deck for you guys. This is mono black control, and I'm telling you, this works like a charm. I've played over 90 games. We're on a 50% win rate. I know that's not a lot, but over 90 games, that is decent. I was on 54%. Today I dropped the hell of a lot. I cannot win a game today. Maybe I'm distracted. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into the conspiracy theories that I usually get into, but you know how I feel about the shuffler and the game state overall. So let's move on to bigger and better things, like explaining what this deck wants to do. First of all, you have this amazing new interaction with Firdoch Core, that is a shapeshifter, a mana rock, and it can become a creature if you pay 4, and an Unholy Annex, meaning that if you have this on the battlefield and an Unholy Annex, you don't need to do the ritual chamber. If your opponent cannot remove this Firdoch Core, then it will ping, gain you life, get you cards. Fantastic interaction. It's a shapeshifter, so it's all creatures, which is amazing. Then you have package of cards to basically control the board. So you have obviously Strategic Betrayal to deal with those pesky graveyard decks. With that being said, you also have the Rise of Sozin, that first chapter destroy all creatures, so it's a board wipe. Chapter 2, you choose a card name, you search your target opponent's graveyard end and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them, then the player shuffles, meaning that if you play this, it doesn't matter what your opponent has, it loses everything, and then you can choose something that it's either on your opponent's graveyard or on your opponent's deck that you know, because if they're playing a graveyard deck, they're probably playing, for example, Cavallero or Bringer of the Last Gift, something like that, Zombify, stuff like that. So you can remove those. And you also have Ancient Vendetta. I did not know about this card. It's fantastic for this current meta, because with this card you can basically take out every single threat if you manage to ramp up before they hit the battlefield. And even so, you can just let one stay on the battlefield, for example, let's say 1 Cub or 1 Autoboroid, which is tough, but Rise of Sozin and Deadly Cover-Up and the End can take care of that. For example, also Ugin, but that's a little harder to pull. But you can remove everything else from your opponent's graveyard as well, hand or library, which is brilliant. So you can basically, with cards like Ancient Vendetta and Rise of Sozin, remove everything your opponent has. Maybe you want to run more. I only had 2, but I would also run 1 more tops. Then you have a lot of removal to stay in the game when things don't really go your way, and you have turn 1 Requiting Hex, turn 2 Strategic Betrayal. Then you have the End that can be played for just 2 mana if you're in a bind life-wise. Deadly Cover-Up, obviously the Rise of Sozin as well. You have a little bit of ramp with the Terminus of Return plus Graveyard Recursion, like you can create a token with Fountainport, then harness the Terminus of Return. And if you have something like Wrench on your graveyard, you just keep getting it back. Or now a Lewis Pompous Pillager, because I added Lewis Pompous Pillager and Outrageous Robbery to the deck, because I really like the way Wrench plays in this deck. It's very useful to have a card that can go also into your opponent's deck and get stuff out. I would probably play with more. I didn't craft another one because it costs 5, so it is a lot, but I would probably play with a little bit more. But you know, you look at top 9 cards of target opponent's library, you exile 2 of them face down, so it doesn't know what you exiled. You can take out their biggest threats, or 2 of them at least, and you can also get a sense of what your opponent really has in his deck, and then you can use it against them. You can just play them, and mana of any type can be spent to cast spells this way. So fantastic. So I wanted an outrageous robbery to basically try and do the same, look at as many cards as possible and take out threats, and Louis Pompous Pillager would be helpful with a little bit of life gain, having a body on the battlefield that you can get back with Terminus of Return, for example, but mainly because you can ping your opponent that last bit of damage after Unholy Annexes does all of the heavy lifting. Then you have two game finishers for me, Planetarium of Tong and Ugin, Eye of the Storms. Obviously, these two play perfectly in tandem with Firdoch Core because they all are colorless, so if you have an Ugin, you can play those two and then start taking out stuff from your opponent's board as well. So pretty decent. It's a control deck through and through with a little bit of a spice to it. I really like the deck. I've played a ton with it, and that's not normal. Usually I play enough to make a video. I've been playing the whole week. I really wanted to make a video with a deck that I knew had a lot of potential and a lot of quality already, so I think this is it. Honestly, try it out, especially if you already have the cards. Build it, go for it, change it, send me the change list if you find something that works better. I added these two, but the original list I found had the Liliana Dreadhorde General, so that's probably a better call. I just thought it was too expensive and clunky, and it was just a one-off. So, but it's a fantastic card as well. Obviously, gives you card draw, creates tokens, so it's a fantastic call as well. So try it out as you wish. Also added two Cavern of Souls regarding the original list because I was finding in the beginning a lot of very controlly decks with a lot of counters. So if you play Cavern of Souls, you choose Villain and you immediately solve two issues because Lewis and Wrench are both something villains, and then you choose Shapeshifter for the other one, and all your Firdoch Cores are also uncounterable. I think I might be wrong because this is an artifact first and foremost. But that was it. That was the intro. I've spoke a lot. I'm gonna have to cut this a lot as well. I really hope you liked the video. If you do, I'm just gonna ask very quickly for you guys to subscribe and to leave that like, comment something, comment a new list that you guys want me to try. I'm all for it. Really hope you guys enjoy the video. Let's get in some games. Okay, Other 444 is our first opponent with this deck on ranked. I think I'll keep like 4 lands, isn't terrible. We have a board wipe. Unholy Annex can get us more cards. Strategic Betrayal can deal with a lot of things, so I think I'll keep. It's not my favorite end or sort of end to keep. And we're gonna draw all lands. The weird thing about this deck is for how good it actually is, you know. It's oof, that's crazy. So is this a Cavaleiro deck? I sense a Cavaleiro deck. I will go with this though. I'm not gonna Strategic Betrayal right now. I kind of want him to go a little bit crazier with graveyard plays, you know, like put as much things as possible in there. Not only because a Strategic Betrayal will work on a Valgavoth, no worries. Oh my god, another land, because of course it is. What I was saying is, yeah, I knew that, but that's fine. That is perfectly fine. And more land, just in case you guys didn't think we had enough land, you know. Okay, so at least we have more than enough, and more, you know. 23 lands means every land in the world. Okay, more land. So you guys see what I'm seeing, right? I'm not going crazy. I think we got at the end, and that was it, and the rest was all land. So I'm just gonna pass turn. I have more land, so the game is just screwing with me at this point. Like, this is a run and a half, you know, a run and a half for 5 mana. So we're gonna go to 6. Ardyn, okay, 1 2 3, and he has a Cavaleiro there. Decisions. because I can end the formidable speaker, so he cannot go get Cavallero again. But he has nothing else in the graveyard for now, so he probably will want to just get something. I'll do this. If he gets Cavallero, he go get Sardin. I think I'm gonna go with this. I can see a Bitter Triumph coming in, but with that, we're not like too terrible. So Bitter Triumph for sure. Let's see what he puts. Okay, a Bringer of the Last Dawn. That was to be expected. I'm gonna discard another land because this is pure Magic Arena, unfiltered. I mean, so we're gonna get a big hit. He'll probably go get Cavallero, Ardyn with Cavallero, and then go get the Bringer. No, that doesn't make sense. Oh, he's gonna go. Wait. Oh, okay, because it doesn't enter as a. It's not like it entered. So yeah, gotta try it, I guess. Okay, we got the thing we need to get to not die next turn, which is fantastic. I will choose now. Well, I'll choose Cavallero, obviously. That's a forest, so he loses the other two that he has. Okay, so there's some stuff here that we need to take care of, but we cannot forget we have Ancient Vendetta. So that I'm gonna go with villain. So if we draw something that interests us, we can go do something about it. So let's go get some. That's not. I'll just wait. We're gonna go get some life now, which is pretty good. And those are actually pretty decent draws as well. So let's see. Assassin's Trophy, probably. No? Okay. I'll take it. I'll go with Shapeshifter now, because why not? I think I'll go with Ancient Vendetta, and I will take Valgavoth. That's probably not. I have a response to pretty much everything. I don't know what to go get, to be completely fair. Yeah, I'll go get. I'll take out Valgavoth or something. I know, or Ardyn. I think our opponent still has one Ardyn. So yeah, that's obvious. Nothing here really scares me that much, considering the cards that I have. Ardyn is one of the few that can actually go do something right now, so I'll go with another one of those. And we got the win. So even though we got completely screwed for a long time, did you see how much land we drew? Like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 lands, and we drew lands for like 4 turns in a row, or 4 draws, or 5, or whatever. So that was kind of crazy, but we managed to still beat one of the best decks in the format. And this is the power of this deck, basically. You know, it's like I was saying in the beginning, before all the lands interrupted me. For how good this deck is, the climb up hasn't been as steady and smooth as it should be, you know, but it's still a fantastic deck. I'm having a blast. I've played like 70 games already with this deck, and I'm enjoying it thoroughly. So let's get into another one. Aggro Jaguar the Brilliant is our next opponent. We actually lost the game last game, I mean. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. I think I'll keep only 2 lands, but we can go with the Requiting Hex for the first couple of turns. And now we're not gonna see any lands, so okay, thank you for showing how wrong I am, game. Thank you very much, not even joking. We needed that. But we are most likely playing what? Artifacts, Azorius Control, Azorius Flyers. It can be so many things, man. I think I'm gonna start drawing out the counters with one of the Unholy Annexes. I don't really mind losing one. Yep. Because we have, you know, bigger things to play. Okay, so stock up. That means what? Should we go for the 3 steps ahead? I think this sounds like a basic. Is a restless anchorage, so I'm gonna take out 3 steps ahead that we know of. I'm pretty sure it's gonna, well, stock up obviously, but cards like that dragon, what's it called, the 6/7 dragon or whatever. But I'm gonna take out the 3 steps ahead. Okay, this scares nothing. So 1 in hand. Okay, the way that this deck wins is basically the lens. 2 restless anchorages, right? There's not even the dragon. That is weird, man. That is super weird. So next one that I will try to take out is Ultima, because we have a Planetarium of 1 Tong. Yeah, it's the lens. Figured. But Requiting Hex solves that issue. The end solves that issue. And now we have 2. So I'm just gonna pass turn. Our opponent has counters, but not the 3 steps ahead. So let's see what he does. Mana value 2 or less, so that's fine. Yeah, our opponent is not risking anything, and neither are we. I can see him transforming the Soulstone Sanctuary right now, but you know. Okay. We will try and take that one out with Requiting Hex, because if our opponent plays something that we need to pay a cost, then I really want to make sure I have it. I don't think this is that much worth protecting, but sure, let's try and force another counter and worst case scenario get more mana, because our opponent has, I think, spell, I don't know if it was spell pierce or spell snare or something like that. I think that Lendra something is also a counter. Our opponent can, okay, I was gonna say our opponent can try an Ultima if you want. I think that's the next one to go if we get like another ancient Vendetta or something like that. So Simrip there, that's fine, I guess. I really don't mind. If our opponent attacks with the Restless Anchorage, we will the end. Well, not right now. Okay, so Ancient Vendetta, we can try and go for something else. I think Ultima is the play, to be fair. No more lies, maybe? Yeah. I was expecting that. Like right now, the only thing that's kind of screaming me is the lack of mana, but let's see. We also have Demolition Field. I think only 1. I don't really remember, but I'm going to try and kill it. If our opponent wants to waste another counter, I'm fine with that. I have other ways of kill it next turn, and we're not gonna die this turn, so we're fine. Okay, counter all spells their opponents control, blah blah blah, that's fine. Ish, you know, that's fine, ish. So, He has an Ultima, so I kinda don't wanna go with that. And I cannot use that, so I think I'm gonna try in the end eventually. Like, I'm not super in a hurry. Our opponent doesn't have a lot of threats, but apparently they're more than enough for us because we cannot for the life of us find something useful to play, even if it's just to scare our opponents, you know. Not no blockers. I'm gonna try in the end, why not? Restless Anchorage, let's see. I'm doing this to take out things from our opponent's end. Okay, so he's fishing for a No More Lies, which he'll probably get because he's looking at 8 cards, which sucks. Okay, he did not. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So I think actually the next one has to be, he doesn't have more creature things, so the next one has to be Ultima or No More Lies, man. But Ultima is the one that's doing the most right now, so kinda need to do that. I will go with that just to see what we'll get, because we can scry with this. And that will most likely force our opponent to Ultima. I don't want any of those, and we got the win. Okay, so I get the Azorius control builds. I love them, trust me. When it comes to control decks, Azorius usually are my go-to, you know, those 2 colors, and I get playing all of these cards. What is the end point? Like, he's not running 4 Restless Anchorages, he's not running 4 Soulstone Sanctuaries, he's not running anything that can create tokens, except, I don't even know if there was more than one. I think there was one more of these. I don't know, man. I just think it's a very weird deck, but a great matchup for us. So, you know, can't really complain. Let's get into another one. Okay, let's see if we can get our 3rd win of the game against the Atomic. It would be nice to get a little bit... I'll keep... Sorry to interrupt, but I'll keep 2 lands. We can try and determine us on turn 2. Firdoch Core on turn 3, and we'll get 4 lands. So that's not terrible. Hopefully it's not against okay, so I know exactly what the hell we're playing with, or against in this case. We need an Ancient Vendetta. Okay, I didn't know it's elementals. I'll still do this. I understand that I'll probably regret that, but I'll still do this. So he's going to 5 mana, playing Vibrance, dealing 3 damage, getting... Yeah, it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do. So we'll Fountainport. We're gonna go with that. We can Strategic Betrayal because I'm pretty sure our opponent will take out... Actually, I think our opponent might take out the Vibrance. So why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, exactly. Because this way you can play other things. We need an Ancient Vendetta quick, man. We really do. If we do not get, we're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 with the Demolition Field. Yeah, that sucks, man. But at least I can try and kill that one. And I'm going to try and do that right now. So let's see if we can kinda, quote unquote, stop our opponent a little. Not stop, but like, you know, cut the momentum off just a smidge. So at least we have enough for an Ugin. I'm going to go with that. Take out the Cavern of Souls for no specific reason. We have no counters or anything, so it doesn't really matter that much. Yes, of course. Okay, so that is different. Do we want to go that or Ugin? Because our opponent has something. If we go that, we only have 3 left. You know what? I'll try an Ugin. Worst case scenario, we'll just take out that. And we got the win. How the hell did we get the win? It was so easy. I guess our opponent was a little mana screw. That's the only reason I can see that for us to get such an easy matchup or game or whatever against the elemental decks. Or it was just mana flooded. Either or. I didn't play the Ancient Vendetta because honestly I didn't really know what to take out. I guess that Sunder block or whatever was the card to take out, but I wasn't really sure. Plus it costs like 7, so I had a little bit of time. I decided to go with Ugin, get a little bit more life, you know, and just try and balance the board that way, but still decent win. Let's get to another one. Okay, so going 4 for 5 in the video would be amazing. Pepe drums the virtuous. Let's see. Nah, I cannot keep this, is way too slow. I will keep this one. I'll take one of the ends because the Requiting Hex will allow us to try and you know, hopefully put a break on our opponent, but it all depends on what the hell he's playing with. So it's life gain. That's not terrible, I don't think. Let's see. Leah. We cannot kill Leah with the Requiting Hex. Ruin Lurker Bat, we can. And I will, because he will need more stuff that way. He'll draw a card, that's fine. Well, that's fine. Depending on what we get, that might be fine. That wasn't fine, like 3 lands, 5 drop and a 7 drop. That's kind of crazy, but that's to be expected. I'll let him have that. You know what? I'll take care of that too. Can we get another land? Okay, we got another land, so that's not the worst thing in the world. We'll go with villain, and at the very least we'll be able to start creating tokens, which I'll take it. I will 1,000,000% take that. Okay, Interland Sanctifier. Unfortunately, we cannot get a treasure token because that's definitely what I wanted. But with that, we get blockers, and more than that, we'll get the... Okay, so perfect. I will just pass turn. Because like I said, that is a blocker first and foremost. Hopefully our opponent just goes crazy with the cards he plays, but he only has 3 lands, so I'm not really banking that much on that. I'm gonna create a treasure, you know, Ugin and stuff. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 1 away. I could go with the end. We have a blocker. I don't think that's gonna be too like crazy and problematic, but I think I'm gonna wait 1 more turn, just pass it. Maybe our opponent plays a Shelter by Ghost or something. Okay, Leyline of Hope. That's crazy. Just made things much bigger, so let's go with Aaliyah. You're out of here. Okay, so if I get a card that interests me, I think I need to take out the Sheltered by Ghost so we can protect our Ugin or something, but that is kind of fine, you know. That's not too crazy. And should I block? I will not block because the card draw or the block might be helpful in a later turn. I think I'm gonna Ugin and take out Leyline of Hope instead of the Interland Sanctifier, to be fair. So let me draw, gaining 3 life, obviously no attacks. Now, I'm fairly certain Sheltered by Ghosts will be coming down, which, considering we have another Ugin, is not like the worst case that can happen, but our opponent has 4 lands, so either the idea is Sheltered by Ghosts on the token and SS Channeler trying to get some life, blah blah blah, or the idea will probably be Sheltered by Ghosts on Ugin, Essence Channeler attack, which I'm fine with that, to be honest, because I can just deadly cover up and take out whatever I need, which will be the Sheltered by Ghost. I will block now. There's no point in taking the 2 if I'm going to deadly cover up next turn. So deadly cover up for 6, 4, 5, 6. Everything goes. Everything hits the graveyard. Oh, that does not hit the graveyard. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll take out that, which is fine. Essence Channeler, but I need to take care of the Sheltered by Ghosts. I will just draw. Strategic Betrayal is good, but nothing that will really help me at this point. I am not super worried, I gotta tell you that. I don't know if it's because I have an Ugin on the battlefield, but I'm definitely not that worried. Our opponent is gaining a lot of life, he's drawing a lot of cards, but in all honesty, nothing's really happening. So I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I'll go with that. Force him to take out most likely the Ruin Lurker Bat, and then I'll see what I'll do. I'll keep the end open, because if our opponent tries to Shelter by Ghosts again, I will just end Aaliyah. Okay, fine with that. Ruin Lurker Bat, I think I'll just, well, yeah, I think I'll just do that. It doesn't really matter. That way our opponent doesn't really have an attack open, and I can just -11 that Ugin and go get some cool stuff, you know, like the Planetarium and our 4 Firdochs, which I can play for 0, but I will play Ugin first, take out the other ley line, and we got the win. Who knew a mono black control deck could ultimate an Ugin? That was amazing. Really cannot complain about the way this deck, this game, I mean, went. The beginning was kinda scary, but I think we played pretty well. Like, we took out Aaliyah, which is one of the most important cards. We were kind of forced to take out the Essence Channeler. I wanted to take out the Shelter by Ghosts because that would make my first Ugin much harder to actually deal with, but I would just clear the board this turn, you know, like it would be a bloodbath here, so we'll not complain. Let's get into another one. Well, I will now see if Calm will let us get into our last peep so we can try and rank up. Well, we do have 3 lands. We have an early removal, late removal, and ways of getting more cards, so not the best end, but I will still keep, and I think this is going to be a mirror match, so Let's see if our opponent plays that. I'll go with Fountainport for now, and there's nothing else that I can do. I'm pretty sure that flashy shapeshifter is coming, the mischievous Nickling, which not ideal, but not the worst thing in the world either. Let's see if our opponent goes with the Unholy Annex next. Oh, Kaito, okay. Okay. That is interesting. Not gonna lie. We have 2 the ends and we already have mana. Well, we don't. We need another black source, so that kinda sucks. Yeah, that's definitely not it. So I'm going to Demolition Field, I think, and just Unholy Annex. We are going to help our opponent a little bit. Okay, we got the other black source for the Kaito, so let's see if our opponent just taps out, because we kind of need to kill it, and we need to do it on our turn, unfortunately. Okay, so we're taking 3 at least. Okay. Our opponent clearly wants to draw or surveil in this case. Well, he gets to draw because I lost life. Sorry, I haven't played that much with this Kaito that I remember, at least. Stalactite Dagger, okay. Fairly certain we'll be able to deal with Kaito next turn, but we'll see, I guess. Okay, chose to... Oh my god, that sucks. Well, I still have 2 the end, so that's not terrible. You'll probably choose the other Unholy Annex or one of the ends. I need to use it on my turn, so it's not even something that's... And we just get another one, so... Okay, so I'm just gonna take out that. Let's see if our opponent has something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spell Stutter. Unholy Annex. So we're kinda screwed here unless we start getting some cards to take care of things. We need an Ancient Vendetta, we need a board wipe, a proper board wipe, stuff like that. So range is good, but it's not what we're looking for. Spell Starter. You know what? I'm gonna have to risk that because we're getting low on life. Okay. And can we get that? Okay. So we got to 10 life, which is not terrible. I really want goddamn Ancient Vendetta, man. We need that, and we need it quick so we can take out Thrumming Hive Pool. And of course, yeah, I forgot about that. God damn it, man. Okay, that's fine. And we still got the win. What the hell? How? Why? There is absolutely no reason for our opponent to quit. No reason. He has 18 life. I have 10. He has 2 creatures with double strike. He has another creature that he can put on the battlefield next turn. He doesn't need to attack right now. He's going to be creating 2 slivers every single turn. I have a 6/6 flyer, sure. He can Unholy Annex and kind of balance out my Unholy Annex. Like, I really don't understand why our opponent quit this soon, but I'll take it. So, final thoughts, everyone. I've been having a lot of fun with this deck. I have about 50% win rate at this point. I started the day with like 54% in like 90 plus games, but I can't seem to get a win with this deck today. Like I either get no land, or I get too much land, or I play against a creature heavy deck and I get no removal, or I play against a very controlly deck. All I see is removal, so it's very difficult to play against those things things, but the rest of the week the deck worked perfectly. That's why I have 90 plus games with it. I'll definitely get to at least 100 with it, but not before the deck comes out. But really very good deck. Like I said in the intro, the Firdoch Core Unholy Annex synergy is very good. I added this to see if I can either close out tough games or just gain a little bit of life, which I felt was something I didn't have a lot of. Outrageous Robbery because I wanted another wrench type effect, and this is an instant, so sometimes when you have a lot of land, because you get Firdoch Core, you get the Terminus of Return, you get Ugin, all of those things give you land, and sometimes you don't really have a lot to do, so you play an Outrageous Robbery and you know, things work. One thing I gotta say is I feel like I've won most games against Cavaleiro decks, which is fantastic. Cards like Strategic Betrayal, Ancient Vendetta, The End, and the Rise of Sozin really work perfectly against those types of decks. Obviously Deadly Cover-Up as well, but that's when things are a little bit trickier, because you can just play the Rise of Sozin even if our opponent just has like a Town Greeter or something on the battlefield, and then you can, the turn after, if the Rise of Sozin gets to that turn, you can just take out Cavaleiro and start taking out some of our opponent's biggest threats. Apart from that, Ugin and Planetarium of one Tong can do some crazy stuff. I added a Cavern of Souls, or 2 Cavern of Souls in this case, because at the beginning when I started playing with this deck, we were getting a lot of control decks as well, not so much creature decks. I wonder why. Anyway, so I would get a lot of counters, and I really like Wrench in this deck. Wrench is very good. I really like stuff that can steal your opponent's creatures, so if you have 2 Cavern of Souls, you can choose Villain, which covers Wrench and Louis Pampas Pillager. Demolition Field is very good. We're playing against a lot of decks that play those creature lands like Restless Reef and stuff like that, so Demolition Field is definitely very helpful, maybe even more than just 2, but I like this. And then that's like I said in the beginning, this is what you want to have on the field. Just start either attacking with the core or just start pinging your opponent with these 2 cards, removing threats slowly basically. But if you get like super aggressive decks, sometimes the cub decks are a little bit tricky, but if you are lucky with the draws and you get like 2-3 lands, a Terminus of Return and a Firdoch Core, and one of many removal spells you get, you can probably swing it. And then you just gotta wait for your Ancient Vendettas or second chapter in the saga, the Rise of Sozin, so you can take out cards like Ouroboros, the Cubs, etc. So pretty good. The deck does a little bit of everything. I think control wise, this is probably one of the best decks I've ever played with. It really does a little bit of everything. You can go with, not gonna say the original list, but like you can go with a list that doesn't play with Lewis and Outrageous Robbery, and maybe add a couple more removal spells just to get you through the first couple of turns, but apart from that, really works out perfectly. The original deck played with 1 Liliana, which I added to the sideboard in case you guys want to play with that. I kinda traded it because it was one more very heavy spell and it was just a one-off, so I thought these 2 made a little bit more sense, basically just because of the life gain with this one and the ping as well, and getting to steal stuff from our opponent. This one is very helpful, but if it gets countered, it does nothing. Well, same with these ones, but that's why you run Cavern of Souls. Anyway, this was the deck. I really had a lot of fun. Let me know down in the comments if you guys will try this deck out. I think you guys will have a pleasant surprise if you do. And if you guys try the deck, let me know what kind of card you would switch, what kind of things you would do differently, and how it went for you guys. For me, it went fantastic until today. The rest of the week was brilliant. Like I said in one of the games, it wasn't like the smoothest climb up, but I always felt like it was possible. Today it was just completely impossible. I could be sitting here all day playing and I would not get a single rank up, but that's fine. That's magic, I guess. And this was the deck. If you enjoyed it, 350 subs is our next goal. We're only 23 subs away from that. That would be fantastic to hit. So really hope we can get there soonish rather than laterish. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. It helps out the channel a ton. It's extremely appreciated as always. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one.